welcome back to Homework Mini Lessons with Miss H. And today we're doing page 96, Unit 2, Week 5. And we're going to focus on key details. So, a tortoise. Read it with me. You will find that a tortoise is a mild fellow. It lives a life that's calm and mellow. Ooh, I noticed rhyming words. So whenever we see rhyming words in a poem, we label them. So these will be A, okay? A tortoise can live for quite a long span. In fact, it may even live longer than a man. Another rhyming pattern. You'll never find a tortoise at sea. It lives on land. That's where it should be. C, B, a different rhyming pattern. Would a tortoise be able to win a race? Not since it moves at such a slow pace. I like how the poet used a question there. That's a different type of sentence fluency. It has 4 stumpy legs and 4 tortoise feet. For a snack, plants are its favorite treat. Yummy. I guess tortoises are vegetarian. So if you notice, we have how many patterns of rhyming pairs? We have A, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different rhyming patterns. Let's flip over. Some creatures have feathers and some have hair. Air. We were at E, now we're at F. But what does our friend tortoise wear? A tortoise wears a hard outer shell that always works to serve it well. G. When a tortoise doesn't know where to hide, it just pulls its head and 4 limbs inside. Even though a tortoise may be shy, it can walk around with its head held high. For a tortoise is a marvel of the animal pack. It carries its home right on its back. So based on this, I can infer that the author really likes turtles and admires turtles. Alright, so now we've already read the story. We've annotated the text, right? When it comes to poetry, when you annotate the text, my expectation is that you annotate the rhyming patterns, right? Because sometimes on the FSA, they will ask you about poetry. They'll ask you a question that goes something like, okay, how many rhyming patterns did you recognize here? So if you already label them, it will be easier. And they will also ask you something like, why would the author use rhyming? Like, why would the poet use rhyming or rhyme to convey what? So when an author uses rhyming, it helps you understand. Like, it gives it a nice little rhythm. Like, it gives it a cool little sound, right? So it kind of makes it catchy. And that's the beauty of poetry. We already read the selection, but they want us to read the selection again. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to read the selection by yourself. Ready, set, go. Awesome. So now we're going to read the selection all together. Try to follow along, okay? And I want you to listen. If you cannot follow along, at least try to match the words Ms. Hernandez is reading. And this way, you'll start learning how to read poems with fluency, right? Correctly. Here we go. A tortoise. You will find that a tortoise is a mild fellow. It lives a life that's calm and mellow. A tortoise can live for quite a long span. In fact, it may even live longer than a man. You'll never find a tortoise at sea. It lives on land. That's where it should be. Would a tortoise be able to win a race? Not since it moves at such a slow pace. It has 4 stumpy legs and 4 tortoise feet. For a snack, plants are its favorite treat. Some creatures have feathers and some have hair. But what does our friend tortoise wear? A tortoise wears a hard outer shell that always works to serve it well. When a tortoise doesn't know where to hide, it pulls its head and forelimbs inside. Inside its what? Its shell. Yeah. Even though a tortoise may be shy, it can walk around with its head held high. For a tortoise is a marvel of the animal pack. It carries its home right on its back. Awesome. So now we're going to complete the key details chart. So key details are important details to the text. They are usually who, what, where, when, and how questions. Okay? That's our usual type of questions when it comes to key details. So, remember how we did the back part? How, where, and how again? So that's what I want you to put here. So I want you to go to the first text evidence statement that we got. All right. Here, a tortoise can live for a quite long span. So I'm going to put my first key detail here. A tortoise can live for quite a long span. Number 2. For number 2, I want you to write the second detail, which should be number 44, line 44. Okay, is our second detail, and that's what goes here for number 2. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to do that, and 1 minute to try to copy detail number 1 if you didn't get a chance. Ready? So, key detail number 3, I want you to look at what is very important about a tortoise. What makes a tortoise different from other animals? A tortoise has a shell. Excellent. So I want you to look at that detail that tells you what it does with a shell, which is our third detail, and you should write it in the third detail box. You have 1 minute. Ready, set, go. let's review. So key details are sentences or information that an author has given us, in this case, a poet, about the tortoise, the topic, right? So key details are who, what, where, when, and how questions. Those are usually, key details are usually the answers to those questions. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the homework vids Ms. Hernandez makes for you guys. And comment down below if you were a tortoise. I don't know, like if you were a tortoise, what would make you hide in your shell? For me, I would hide in my shell if I saw a dog maybe and I was afraid of the dog and I didn't know what the dog was going to do to me, right? So if I were a tortoise and I saw a dog, I would hide in my shell. Comment down below and see you next time. Bye!